Hello to all of you, my lovely students in the 8th grade. How are you today? Welcome back to my English lessons. It's me, your English teacher, Iman Jafari at Al Farouk Academy. So the title of our lesson today is Future Tense or Future Simple Tense. In this lesson, you are going to compare between will and going to. So students should be able to recognize the uses of future tense, recognize the forms of future tense in the affirmative, negative, and interrogative form, and you are going to practice future tense using will and be going to. So let's start with the uses of will and be going to. We use will to talk about actions decided at the moment of speaking, something you decide to do now. For example, now I am thirsty, so I think I will buy a drink. Now it is hot, so I will open the door. Now I am hungry, so I will eat some food, okay? So when you talk about actions, okay, that decided at the moment of speaking, which means something that you decide to do now, we use what? We use will, not be going to, okay? What about be going to? We use be going to talk about future plans or intention, خطط ونوايا, okay? Decided before the moment of speaking, okay? You decide to do something before the moment of speaking. When you say, my car or my old car is broken, okay? So what did you decide? I am going to buy a new car, okay? So here we have a plan or intention, okay? So you plan to buy a new car, so you say, I am going to buy a new car, not I will buy a new car, okay? So أحداث قررت تعملها الآن في وقت الكلام نستخدم will. أحداث قررت تعملها مسبقاً، تخطط أن تعمل لها مسبقاً، we use be going to. The second use of will and be going to, we use will to talk about production, okay, based on personal opinion. What do you mean by production? تخمينات, okay, based on personal opinion, مبنية على رأيك الشخصي بدون دليل. For example, look at the sky, it is clear, but you say, I think, okay, it will rain, okay? So what is your prediction? I think it will rain tomorrow. It is my personal opinion. رأيك الشخصي بدون دليل. What about be going to? Be going to is used to talk about production based on a present evidence. I have my evidence. عندي دليل, okay? So when we say, look at the black clouds, okay? It's going to rain. Why do we use it is going to rain? Because I have an evidence, which is look at the black cloud, okay? So here in the first picture, I have no evidence, okay? هون في عندي تخمين لكن ما عندي دليل عليه. In the second picture, I have prediction تخمين لكن عندي دليل عليه, which is look at the black clouds, okay? When the black are clouds, so this means excellent, it is going to rain, okay? In English, we have other uses of will. Okay, so we use will for promises. When you say, I promise you, my teacher, I will study. Okay, so when you are going to promise me, okay, or to give your promise, we use will, not be going to. We use will with offer and request. What do you mean by offer and request? Okay, when you say, I will help you, it is your offer. عرضت علي تساعدني. So this is what you mean by offer. What about request? Request, will you carry my bag? Okay, so you ask me to do something for you. طلب. إذا مع العرض والطلب we use will, not going to. Okay, so we use will, okay, for prediction with no evidence, تخمينات بدون دليل. Actions decided to do at the moment of speaking, حدث قررت إنك تعمله الآن. Promises, وعود. Offer and request, عرض وطلب. We use be going to talk about plans or intention, خطط ونوايا خططت تعملها مسبقا، اوكي، مش في وقت الحديث. And to talk about predictions based on evidence، والحديث عن تخمينات مبنية على دليل، اوكي. Now we are going to start with the form of will and be going to. The rule says that we use subject plus will plus the base form of the verb plus complement, okay? So you can say she will study hard. She or they will, okay, go shopping. So with will, you are going to use subject, will, plus the base form of the verb. What about be going to? Be going to, we are going to start with the subject. If the subject is singular, he, she, or it, you are going to use is plus going to plus the base form of the verb and to complete your sentence. For example, it is going to rain tomorrow. She is going to visit her uncle. Okay? What about I am going to visit you. Okay? So I with am. If the subject is plural, okay, you are going to use are going to plus the base form of the verb. Okay, so again, with will in the affirmative form, you are going to start with subject, will, plus the base form of the verb. For example, your brother will become famous soon. Notice here the contraction form of will. إذا بدنا نختصر will, you are going to use double L with apostrophe. Okay? What about be going to? Be going to, I with am, okay? If the subject is singular, you are going to use is. If the subject is plural, you are going to use are, plus going to, plus the base form. And now let's start with the negative form of will and be going to. To negate any sentence that contain will, you are going to add not, okay? For example, people will not live on the moon in the future. Here we have people is the subject of this sentence, will not is the negative form of will, plus the base form of the verb which is live, and in the future it is a time adverbial about the future, okay? To negate any sentence that contains going to, you are going to add not to verbs to be, is, am, and are. For example, she is not going to visit the museum. Here we have she is the subject, is not is the negative form of is, plus going to, plus the base form of the verb visit, and the museum is the object of any sentence, okay, or of this sentence. So, the negative form of will is will not, as I told you, and the contraction form of will not is won't, okay? The negative form of be going to, you are going to use am not, is not, and are not, okay? After am not, is not, or are not, you are going to use going to plus the base form of the verb, okay? And now let's start with the interrogative form of will and be going to. As you know, we have yes or no question, WH word question. Let's start with this example when we say, is Mary going to visit her uncle tomorrow? The short answer could be yes, she is, or no, she isn't. So here we inverted the subject and verbs to be. Only you need to start your question with verbs to be. Another example with will, when we say, will you study tonight? Okay, will you study tonight? The same rules. To ask any question with will, you are going to start your question with the modal verb will. So the answer could be yes, I will, or no, I won't. What about WH question? What are you going to study? Okay, so you can start with the WH word, then verbs to be, then the subject, and the last point you are going to use going to plus the base form of the verb. Another sample with will, what will she buy tomorrow? Okay, so with WH word question, you are going to start with the WH word, then the helping verb. Okay? So, A future simple in the interrogative form, you are going to start with will, subject plus the base form of the verb. Okay? What about going to? You are going to but is, and are before the subject. Okay? Then you are going to complete your sentence with going to plus the base form of the verb. Any question? Any question? Okay, so let's start with the practice. Choose will or going to. Okay, when we say I am tired, so I want to ask you to cook dinner today. Okay, so this is a request. With request we use will or going to. Excellent, we use will. So will you cook the dinner today? So here we have request. With request we use will. Number 2, are you free tomorrow? Sorry, study for the exam. Here we have a plan. I am planning to study for my exam tomorrow. So with plans and intention we use excellent. Be going to. Here I am going to study for exam. I think people live on the moon in the future. Here we have prediction, تخمين, but I have no evidence, okay? So when you have prediction with no evidence, okay, based on your personal opinion, you are going to use will. So I think people will live on the moon in the future. The last sentence, did you speak to Sarah? No, I phone here right now. Actions that you decide to do now, we use will. So, oh no, I will phone here right now. Okay, so the correct answer is will. I will stop here today. Thank you very much, my dear students, for listening to me, and I hope you did understand my lesson. Thank you again.